And I've been in the industry nearly 40 years. There's a freedom in our job and a creativity that I don't know many people who just get to see so many different things.
I love the opportunity to work closely with people who are warm and thoughtful and empathetic and adventurous.
I feel incredibly privileged to be in this world. The fact you get to tell stories, to meet really interesting people, to go to amazing places, but also within that industry, there are certain pressures that can push you to the edge. Now I've got young children, I do wonder whether there's a place for me. It affects your mental health because you're not valued. And it's not just women, it's men as well. I get really, really cross when I hear people say that it's about survival of the fittest, you've got to just be tough, you've got to be resilient. If we want to tell stories that reflect our society, we have to create a space where all different types of people can work.
If you're a black or brown person or a disabled person or a queer person, if you're underrepresented in the field already, then generally you're going to go into a culture that probably values you less.
I think some of the biggest influences to me being unwell have been bullying and probably an overworking environment.
I've seen people coming up through the industry over the years who have been mistreated, and so when it comes to their turn, they think that it's absolutely normal to bully other people.
Basically, the office was set up so that the boss was sitting on the first floor with a balcony overlooking everybody else. And the team was sitting around a big table on the ground floor being watched by the boss from above. And I remember everybody in the room was tense and still and quiet because everyone was scared.
In my 20-year history, there was one project that I was particularly badly bullied on. I felt really, really isolated, and it got to the point, I remember when I was crossing the road to work one morning and I nearly got run over by a car, and at that moment I thought to myself, I'd rather have been run over than go into work. I offered to resign. They wouldn't let me because I had all the information in my head. I kept going and it was pretty brutal. The film I'd made got a lot of buzz around it, but there was one moment after it where I was going, what did I do wrong? Why did they hate me so much? Why would they treat me like that? I've never self-harmed, and I took a knife and I was trying to cut my arm. And I've never done that before, and I've never done it since, but I think I was at such a low point because of the bullying. It took me to this place that was really, really dark.
I've worked in a situation that was so toxic that I ended up feeling worthless ultimately. I remember standing on the train platform and knowing the train was coming and genuinely believing the better thing to do was to jump in front of it. The way I felt about myself after working in a too stressful, bullying environment made me question whether I wanted to be alive. I think I'm a resilient person, but I'm also a sensitive person and a thoughtful person and an empathetic person, and that's part of what makes me really good at my job. I don't believe that a terrible process is worth a beautiful outcome.
One of the things I realised is that nothing in this industry is forever. We are leaving this behind for a new generation. And we've got to look at ourselves and realise, what are we exactly leaving behind and what state are we leaving it in?
I'd like to be part of an industry that can put people's humanity alongside making great content and telling great stories and making money too. I don't think that's too much to ask. I really don't.
Having bosses or structures that allow you to talk about if you're feeling stressed or when things are difficult could absolutely transform the industry. because it is a difficult industry and it is creatively tough. I'm not sure if those things are going to go away, but if we acknowledge them and allow people to talk about them more, I think it will be better for all our mental health.
What we need here really is a culture change, but from the very top down, because the pressure that's put on everyone gets more and more as it goes down the chain.
If there's an industry coming forward and quietly but urgently saying that we have collectively created structures that hurt us, what if you had the power to change that? I'd love people to consider how they could turn some of their attention to making our industry safe, healthy. Imagine if those people could make that change. Imagine your legacy if you could make that change. I think that's a pretty extraordinary opportunity.